Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Ben the Human Plays Vagrus The Riven Realms. We're picking up mid-mission. We're trying to track down the hollow men that have the Akala that they took from the dudes in Varnarud. So, you emerge into the ash-covered alleyways and dirty streets of Avernum's slums. The skies are as dark as ever, and a dry heat saturates the air. Curiously, the bouncers from earlier are not at the bottom of the stairs. Rather, you see them in the distance, talking to what at first looks like a mercenary. You narrow your eyes for a closer look, and then you see it. By the mercenary's side is a helmet, and it is unmistakable. It belongs to a warrior from the Hollow Men. A plan forms swiftly, and as you go through it in your mind, you walk towards the guards. Whether or not something happened inside the tavern, they seem unaware of it. They are busy dealing with the mercenary, who appears to be stammering and slurring. You invoke the name Derry again, and this time more confidently, telling the heavies that the cataclysm will handle the issue. "All right, yeah," one says, nodding his thick-muscled skull. "This one's been drinking again, but he knows we can't let him in." You nod and let your gaze settle on the mercenary, but as soon as you see the red markings near his collarbone, everything shifts into place. This man is a hollow man. He is small of stature and lean. His hazel eyes are sunken, and his face is as white as a sheet. He appears youthful, and the facial hair he sports is likely the first of such growth. Could he be the errant drunkard the smelters first described to you before sending you in the direction of Gallows Anvil? "Was just having a drinky poo. I meant no harm. Another one, you know what I mean?" The absolute state of the man is hard to ignore. He is completely trashed. Moreover, he does not appear to have any concept of the peril he is now faced with. You scold him authoritatively, lamenting his drunken weakness. Then you get rhetorical and ask him what he is meant to be doing. The man stammers before words spill out. I should be back at the warehouse, but Wrath, you see, he said we could go out a bit, so, well, I had a few. I am no saint," he admits before he begins swaying from side to side. "Forget all that, yeah?" he continues, pitching his head down. He appears to be breathing heavily. "When you folks coming over, eh? Our offer is ready." You suspect the drunken hollow man believes you to be a member of cataclysm, the splinter faction working with the deserters, but you need confirmation, thus you compel him to explain. The more details, the better. "The Akala, you know? You ever gonna smelt the shit down?" He manages, and you have all the confirmation you need. He then reveals the reason for his swaying and stooped movements when he turns to vomit, the contents of his stomach pouring out onto the ground. Especially for a hollow man, he is pitiful and wretched sight to see. He wheezes before sitting on the ground. "Ooh, just give me a minute. Need to have a sit, yeah?" But the time for ruses is up. You tell him who you are, who you represent, and what you are here to do. Perhaps unsurprisingly, another round of chunder is due. You barely have to try to make him take you to the supposed warehouse, where his brethren are held up. It is as if the man would do anything to avoid hurt. He volunteers his name, rank, a census brine. The mere mention of the Praetorian has him shaking in his boots. Further acquiescence is without protest, but his condition is borderline paralytic. You know it'll be a slog with the deserter, so you must find where the rest of his ilk have made their lair. Only there will you find the Akala. Once you get moving, the pace is glacial. Try as you might, you cannot spur the man on, nor speed him up. He takes you through alleys and ash-covered streets, but his complete lack of control makes him look like a lost fool. The last alley you take is abandoned and dark. Eventually it opens up and a dilapidated warehouse comes into view. The structure is built of mismatched stone bricks, and the walls have decayed with the passage of time. A lone door, clearly the entrance, seems ready to fall off its hinges. Lichen and moss cover its edges, spreading to the rest of the warehouse. Despite its rundown appearance, it is fairly large, just like the kind of building passerby might think is abandoned. "There it is," the drunken hollow man says enthusiastically, his manner borderline performative. "It's not much, but we appreciate it," he says, looking at you. You meet his eyes and wonder and consider what comes next. Perhaps the fellow seeks grace and mercy from yours and the Praetorian's wrath. This would explain his obsequious behavior. Either way, with the man having sobered up and the door to the warehouse beckoning, you shall have to decide what to do with him. Let's bind and gag him and keep him alive and then head into the warehouse. I don't want to just kill him. That seems cruel and unusual. Our main squad here. The usual suspects. Wrong. Who's my other frontliner? Oh, Elani, duh. Huzzah! He does not protest other than the odd, poor attempt at humor. Gagging the pitiful man proves satisfying, in fact. He's been blathering about all kinds of nonsense for far too long. When he is bound, you have your companions put him somewhere few will notice him if they come looking. Yet there is no telling if he will survive. Caderus' mercenaries could arrive at any time. As a party now, you move toward the door. The thick planks of wood that once reinforced its strength are rotten and overgrown now, so whatever is on the other side, you had best be prepared. As you pull the door open, a faint glimmer of light spills in. A hallway flanked by weathered stone pillars greets your arrival. You now occupy a grand chamber from which all other rooms in the building open up. Firelight peeks out from a connected room to your right, though in the hall, darkness prevails. Further out into the distance, you can see another faint light coming from the end of the hallway, along with a room that appears unoccupied. Low voices and footfalls echo and reverberate off the halls, interspersed with the squeak of rats in the background. A nearby pillar provides perfect cover from a duo of men who appear headed toward the room on the left, and who have not yet seen you. As they approach, you can hear them chatting. Gonna be here soon. Was taking the effort so long, eh? Rat says tomorrow, early afternoon. It'll be alright, mate. Now where's Brian? Pissed off to some bloody drinking hole in Slumtown, no doubt. Don't reckon he'll make it. Alright. So let your companions sneak past the room hidden behind darkened pillars. Okay. Move towards the closer pillar outside the room and listen to their conversation. Looks like Skulker and Perceptive we have more of than Dexterous. Not by much, but we do. Let's listen in. We succeeded. With painstaking grace, you inch forward, taking the refuge behind the pillar just in front of the door to the candlelit room. The conversation has progressed somewhat, but a census brine is still seems to be the focus. Fools out there every night, Hammer. I don't like it one bit, a low, gruff voice says. Scorn used to keep him in line, he did. Don't talk about scorn now, another scolds, and you hear other hollow men who at present express their agreement. Rat don't much like that pond scum, did he? I don't. Hammer don't care. We ain't no Hollowmen anymore, names or no. He ain't in charge. The first speaker says defiantly. The other man instead only snorts while his companion continues. Still, Scorn was a brawler. We'd be better off were he here, you know that. Always did know what to do. Born leader, if you ask me. The conversation becomes inaudible or muffled when one of the men seems to mess around with armor or a set of weapons. In the interim, you cannot hear anything until a third voice, with a more elegant tenor, can be heard. Wrath, sorry, Decurion Wrath said he wants us to rally. Gotta talk about plans after pawning off the Arcala. Says he knows how to get to Dragmalak, the bastard. The other men seem pleased and speak now more about menial matters concerning the preparation. I think we just attacked them. Like, if we sneak past them, won't they just come rescuing whoever it is we confront later? Maybe we try to sneak past them so they don't, like, run off with the Akala, maybe? Ooh, we succeeded. You ignore any further soldierly chatter and inch past the candlelit room carefully. It is obvious they are still speaking, though about what you cannot tell. Further and further you sneak, clothed in the darkness and the grand hall affords you. Then suddenly you hear a clamoring racket behind raised voices, shouting coming from the entrance. Mercenaries, no doubt, from Caderus have entered the fray. Their numbers are great and you recognize several. You saw them at the bar and around the slums. Before you can react, the hollowmen from the room behind you pour out, bellowing battle cries to Old Hand Marcus, and the bloodshed begins. But the Caderus contracted killers are too many, and after the first of the Hollowmen are otherwise engaged, more come. From the rear, too, you realize, more Hollowmen join the battle. Amid the chaos, there is a great irony at work. You shall fight side by side with the deserters, aiming to bring the mercenaries of Caderus down. Okay. I'm surprised. Alright. Who's the most... Probably the contracted assassin is the most dangerous among you. Can I stun him? Are you stunnable? I don't think so. I don't think he's not stunnable. Although it's probably hard to hit him, honestly. Let's try to take out the Orc Bruiser if we can. Let's boost Nadir. So here comes the assassin. He's probably gonna throw smoke. Yeah, I was worried about the flash bombs. Oh, he staggered the 2 people! Oh, dickhead. Take the crit. Kill the orc. He resummoned himself. That's annoying. Although the fire might kill him, maybe the wards. I've been boned. Oh, you guys suck. Get owned. Oh, did you get stunned? Yes, good job, Elani. You're toast. I should have let the chain lightning finish that guy off. Although we killed the assassin, sick. All right, 2 dudes left. Ow! You're stuck back there. Although you'll move to the front, I'm sure. He's dead. You're alive. But not for long. Awesome stuff. That went really well. When the slaughter finally abates, bodies lie scattered upon the shabby floor. You and a half dozen hollow men are the only ones left standing. A figure tall and muscular with his spiked helm leveled in your direction assesses you with a veneer of cold neutrality. Just who are you? Not with all the dead Caderis employees, are you? A truce seemed unlikely at best, so you need to know where the Aquila is. You speak plainly, making it known that you are here on the Praetorian's stead, and shall visit vengeance upon any who stand in your way. First and foremost, you must take back that which belongs to the Hollowmen, the Aquila. Sent here by the Praetorian, were you? The imposing figure fires back defiantly. Looks to me like you're a mercenary, just like all these other scum. Mayhaps cut from another cloth, I dunno. Decurion Wrath demands to know your price, mercenary. You tell him that you are a Vagrus. One and the same, he counters dismissively. What I am willing to bet, though, is that you're looking to get paid. Why not double dip with us, eh? We keep the Aquila, and you walk away with a bag full of silver, richer deal. Oh, silver richer deal? These terms will not suffice, you reply, and even beneath his helm, his scowl is palpable. Just like scorn and all the other lick-spittle trash. Servants to a noble boy. All. Scorn, too, balked at the last minute, the final hurdle. Thought he was made of sterner stuff, he comments before angrily raising his voice. Now, Vagrus, this place will be your tomb. The time for words is over. Decurion Wrath rushes towards you, bellowing a battle cry. Well, here we go. Oh, dang! That's a lot of dudes. All right. Round 1. You are Wrath. You're probably thick-headed, yeah, or thick-skull, so we can't stun them. So we might as well just smack them as much as we can. Get a burn going. It blocked it, but that's okay. Boost Nadir so she can throw wards at the end of her turn. My goal is just to kill Wrath first. I bet you can throw a spear, huh? I knew it. And then you stab. Oh, no, you pushed me. Very rude of you. Ah, you still live. Not for long. Wrath didn't even get to move. You'll throw a spear too, I bet. Nope, moved up. You and your shield pushes. Hollow man. Okay, you're all equivalent. So throw your wards down. And then we get an axe. They block a lot. Oh, that guy just straight up died. All right, swap with Finderath here. Focus fire this front guy. Boost Nadir again so she can burn both of these guys. Finderath, I'm gonna stop chain lightninging and just go for straight lightning. Rush forward and smack that guy. He's gone. And now one dude left. Yeah, shield push all day, man. It does not matter to me. I'm going to curse you, actually, on the off chance that you go last now. The hawk did not hurt him. I like Krifta because her attacks pierce armor, which is really helpful in some of the later stage fights. At last, the only ones standing in the Grand Hall are you and your companions. All others have been slain or are in their death throes. Decurion Wrath among them. He appears badly wounded and immobile, though you surmise it will take at least one more strike to kill the man. Otherwise, left alone, he may perish or survive. With blood around his mouth and his back against a nearby pillar, he takes off his helm with great effort, revealing himself to be tanned with long dark hair and a full beard. Between his blue eyes and thin nose, you conclude that the man may have been handsome in less dire circumstances than these. Let the Praetorian's justice rest, Vagrus, he says, wiping sweat from his brow. I am Decurion Wrath no more. My name is Amulius Afra. Give me this last plea that I might live a life in atonement or die in dignity. The change in speech is jarring, so you entertain the deserter. You ask him what he is getting at. Take the Aquila and my coin, yeah? Simple. You never find the coin otherwise. It's well hidden. I'll tell you where we stashed what we made at the Bountiful Glade. I'll tell you anything you want to know. Just give me one chance at a better life, yeah? It's all I ask. Either that or kill me, all proper like, a soldier's death, and be on your way with a misbegotten prize. You ask him plainly if he has always been such a poet. Wanted to be an actor, I did, he says, laughing at himself before coughing. Fell in with the deserters in Bale's War. Feels like a long time ago. You know how it goes. You follow your peers, and then that's just how it is. Can't help much now. He adds, he admits wincing in pain. Guess I just felt a little reflective on the precipice of death, or a different life. Decurion Wrath or Armulius Afra puts his hand over one of his wounds and scrunches his face in pain, and then looks at you again. Well, make a bloody decision. Get on with it. I guess, what are the questions we could ask him? You heard him and others speak of a sense of scorn. What part did he have to play in all of this? Never did like that twat, he answers immediately. Still, most of us knew he was among the Hollowmen's veteran fighters, and it was he who first suggested we take the Aquila. You tell him to elaborate. It was back when we were holed up at the Hollow King, he says, drawing a deep breath as he fights against his wounds. Scorn says we ought to smuggle the Aquila out one night, even if the cocksucker wasn't in charge. You ask him what he means. Look, everyone knows these effing cliques. The Imperator ruled in a loose fashion, but he kept us to our duties, dividing us in turn. I should have been in charge of our little guard force, but I wasn't. It was Scorn. Always that smarmy C-word. So when he said he wanted to bail from the Hollowmen with the Aquila, smelt it down and divide the price, me and the others listened. After that, he balked, but then the raptors attacked and we ran. The storm that hit us as we fled the Hollow King did the rest. It was the perfect opportunity to strike. It was. Armurius Afra bears his head down, grasping at a chest wound. He appears to suffer for a moment, so you drive this line of questioning further. You ask if he is saying that Scorn is responsible for the desertion, betrayal, and theft of the Aquila. Yes, that's what I'm saying, you fool. Though Scorn made up his mind and then fled from the Ashstorm all by his lonesome, he snorts. Some warrior, he spits. So I took his place, didn't I? This was the moment to strike, and I knew it. Just a pity that big old Scorn and his supposed prowess couldn't be put to the test. Problem was, of course, that some of the boys just got in because they thought this was his thing. So I did my best to keep them together. He sighs. Seems I effed up royally. All right. We can spare him. Why not? Only Finderath liked that question, or that decision. Decurion Wrath begins weeping softly, but soon he turns to you and smiles. I don't know why you would, but I really don't. But thank you, Vagrus. I don't deserve it. I will give up my soldierly life and pay Marcus in repentance for this chance that I've been given. Mark my words, he says with confidence. You have your companions help the man up and tend his wounds, while you scour the warehouse as he assists, pointing you in the direction of their finest possessions. He is also eager to show you where his stashed coin remains. I'm a man of my word, I am, he says as he removes a brick in an alcove and reaches in. There, he says satisfied, and when you see his hand re-emerge, he hoists a pouch and gives it to you. I only ask that you leave me a few coins. It'll be more than enough to get me started. I got a lot of talents I have. I'll put them to good use. You let the man have his tiny cut, the money needed to have some chance at life, and he takes you to a cart where the Aquila is inside, wrapped in leather. The iron pole is inlaid with bronze, and although it looks worse for wear, it is not damaged in a significant fashion. While the crest is beautifully preserved, it would stir something inside any Imperial, and for a moment Armulius seems almost as if he cannot bear to part with it. Then he shakes his head and lets go. You say your final goodbyes before hauling everything you have gathered and the Aquila back to the Comitatus. Whatever Armulius decides to do, you can rest easy in the fact that you made what you thought was the right call. A curious conclusion about today's events forms in your mind. Oh, hell yeah! Scrap metal, supplies, jewelry, jade figure, marble, money. Multiple sources discussed the infamous character as Sense of Scorn, but above all, the Curian Wrath cemented it. The whole heist was Scorn's idea. Bias aside, you know that Scorn was there when the deserters came up with the plan of escape and theft, but Wrath took over, with Scorn likely backing out the last minute. You cannot know his intentions, nor if he acted out of fear or honor. An obvious choice comes to the forefront of your mind. This matter is yours and yours alone to broach with the Praetorian. It is unlikely that Ascensius Scorn would face mercy for such machinations, for it was through those actions that more than a score of hollow men perished. The code of honor, even for an outsider, is clear, and on occasions like these, suitably obtuse. I think we tell the Praetorian, like, I don't really like Scorn, and the only reason you would try to protect him is to, like, blackmail him, but I want to get in good with the hollow men, so I think it makes sense to tell the Praetorian, and then whatever happens to Scorn happens to Scorn. And maybe it helps him keep the rest of those dudes in line. Oh, other people gain loyalty. I guess maybe just Elani and Gorgoro. Yeah, it's kind of the normal suspects there. All right, we go back to the Praetorian, and then we'll turn in that quest. But before we do that, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run over to Torzeg's shelter and sell all of the metals we just made. And then what I'm going to do is I'll do this all off camera. I'm going to run back into the crossroads here, into the gate, and I'm going to pick up my Yerg mounts that I normally have and come back through the gate, and then we'll pick back up in Avernum next episode, and I'll have my appropriate mounts, and then we'll, instead of taking the gate like we would normally, I'll just go back and forth from this side of the map to Scrap Heap without use of the Realm Gate. That way I can continue to use my good mounts. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, please click the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you want to see more episodes of Vagrus The Riven Realms or the other videos I have going on the channel, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have your notifications on so you know when the next videos go live. But until next time, everybody, I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody!